You are welcome to today's lecture under the use of English series for JAMB UTME, episode 22. If you have made it this far, you are such a hero and your work shall pay off on the day you are going to see your UTME result. Today's topic is being and being forms. These two verbs you have here, they are forms. Do not forget to make notes as you take this lecture, make your own notes for subsequent revision, and also enable full screen view by tapping on the icon located at this place that I'm hovering my mouse to enjoy the maximum viewers experience. Without wasting much of our time, let's head straight into the lecture outline. Lecture outline: principles of using being and being in a sentence. Practice exercises from WAEC and JAMB/answers. Quick recap of the lecture. You will learn the above in this lecture and I wish you good luck. Being and being forms. This one is pronounced being. This one is pronounced being. Being and being. They are forms. Many irregular verbs end in ing when indicating continuity of activity and en when indicating completion of activity. So many irregular verbs. If you have not taken my lecture on irregular verb, do that right away by tapping on the link in the description to access the series. Find the video of irregular verbs there. Many irregular verbs end in ing to indicate continuity of action, like a continuous, like their present continuous form ends in ing. That's what this is trying to say. Their present continuous form ends in ing, irregular verbs. And their past form or past participle form, like completion of an action. What happened in the past? It has completed, it has ended. It ends in en, which is en. For example, this being we have here, this one is ending in ing. This is telling you that this form is for the present continuous or for the continuous, that something is ongoing, continuous, continuity of an activity. While this one ending in en is trying to tell you that this is a completed action or is used for completed actions, okay? So the two rules here are with regards to the active voice. The two rules that we are going to treat right away is regarded to active voice when the sentence is in the active voice. So if you have not taken my lecture on active and passive voice, do that right away by tapping on the link in the description of this video to access the series and take the lecture on active and passive voice. Moving on. The first rule, there are two rules that govern the being and the being form. The being and the being form. Two rules govern them. That's the ing form and the en form. The form ending in ing and the form ending in en. Okay? The ing form goes with auxiliary verb be and its many other forms such as is, are, am, was, were, and so on and so forth. The ing form of this irregular verb, of this being, ing form of being, goes with what? Auxiliary verb be and its other family members. The auxiliary verb be has other family members, which are is, are, am, was, were, and so on and so forth. There are many, but these are the most common. These five are the most common. Is, are, am, was, were. These are the most common. So you have to know this by heart. The family of the verb be. When we treated pronoun, we also treated the verb be. If you have not seen my lecture on pronouns, do well to take my lecture on pronouns. So let's see an example that illustrates this statement here, this first rule, okay, governing the ing form. Remember, it takes the auxiliary verb be. The ing form takes the auxiliary verb be and its other family members or the component of its family. Let's look at the examples. He is being cheated. Is, remember, it goes with the auxiliary verb be and its family. Is part of the auxiliary verb and its family. And since the ing form is here, it's trying to tell us that this is a continuous action, that this cheating is ongoing, is continuous, it's in the present. He is being cheated. Correct. This statement is correct. It follows the rule. The next example we have here is they were weaving it. They were weaving it. Take note of the ing underline, telling you that it's still in the ing form. And this law is pertaining to sentence in active voice, not passive voice. Sentence in active voice. They were weaving it. ing form of verb. Can you see? ing. So the verbs ending in ing takes this auxiliary verb be and its family. Is, are, am, was, were, and so on and so forth. The next example here says we are eating. ing form, eating. Eating, ing form of verb. Are is taking one of the verb that is part of the family of the verb be, the auxiliary verb be. Are is part of it. The next example here is the sun was rising. This is in the continuous form, remember. ing, the continuous. The sun was rising. Was, like it took here. Was is what? It's trying to tell us that it obeys this first rule because was is part of the verb be's family. Okay? This verb be is part of the family. This is was there. So have that at your fingertips. The verb be has other family members, which includes is, are, was, were, and so on and so forth. But these are the most common. Moving on. The second rule of the verb being and being, or the verb ending in ing form and the en form. The second rule states This second rule is for the EN form. The first rule was for the ING form. So this second rule is pertaining to only the EN form. The EN forms goes with auxiliary verb have and its other forms such as has and had. Shiki now. The first rule states that the ING forms of verbs goes with what? The form of the verb be. The verb be and its other components, which includes it, was, am, were, and so on and so forth. But for the EN form, which is the second rule, it goes with the auxiliary verb have and its other family members. What are the other family members or components of have? It goes with what? Has, had, and so on. That's have has other family members like has and had, has and had. So the ING form goes with is, are, be, am, was, were. Why the what? The EN form goes with have, has, and had. But that's why you have to take every lecture in this series. You have to take all the lecture in this series. So ensure you take all the lectures in the series. Very, very important. Everything, they go hand in hand. You need to know this for you to properly know this. You need everything to conquer in your JAMB UTME 2026. So let's look at examples pertaining to this second rule governing the EN form of verb. The first example we have here is he has been cheated. Take note of the form EN, the EN form. He has been cheated goes with has. If you put he is being cheated, it's wrong. It becomes wrong. It's not supposed to use the EN form. It does not go with the EN form. They had woven it. EN form here again goes with what? Had. We have eaten. EN form goes with what? Have. The sun had risen. EN form again, ending in EN, goes with had. Moving on. Note something very important. There are always exceptions to rules sometimes, and there are always consideration in rules. So in this rule, we have a consideration and not an exception. So the consideration we have here is the two rules also applies in verb form that end in ing and en. So verb forms that end, I'm giving you an expo for your JAMB UTME exam to use in your discernment for your JAMB UTME and WAEC exams. So the two rules also goes with what? The verbs ending in ing and en forms. For example, if you look at the left-hand side of the table, we have the ing forms. On the right-hand side of the table, we have the en forms. Let's take a look at the left-hand side of the table. Judging from the left-hand side of the table, we have examples like doing, ending in ing. This is a verb form ending in ing. Walking, ending in ing. Okay, so let's look at their counterparts and so on and so forth. So looking at the right-hand side of the table, we have the en forms. The first example there is given, ending in en. The second example there is chosen, ending in en, and so on and so forth. Let's look at an example that further illustrates this, that any verb form that ends in ing and en form also obey or also comply with the rule 1 and rule 2. The ing and en forms can only apply in absence of being and being in a sentence. So before you use the two rules for verbs ending in ing form, make sure that there is no being and being in the sentence. Make sure that there is no being and being in the sentence. In the absence of this, the verb ending in ing and the verb ending in en replace the law. Replace the law or the rule compliance. Okay, the verb ending in ing and the verb ending in en replace the laws of the rule compliance. Let's look at the example next. Remember, in the absence of being and being. Let's see example next. Wrong ing forms. Some wrong ing forms. We are going to indicate the wrong one with this symbol, which is wrong. Okay, so let's look at the right ones first. He is waving at you. He is waving at you. What is the law of the ing form? It goes with the verb be and its family. Is part of the family of the verb be? Yes, that's the ing form. So when you say he has waving you, it becomes wrong. He have waving because this is the ing form. Remember, we only apply this to verb ending in ing or en when there is no being or being in the sentence. No being or been in the sentence. If you can look at this sentence, there is no being or being. The next example we have here is Shioma and Godwin are making the bed. Correct. Why is it correct? Shioma and Godwin are making the hair. We have the verb here ending in ing. If you look at this statement, there is no being, neither is there being in the sentence or in the statement. And the ing form goes with the verb be and its other family members. Okay, and of which are is part of the members of the family of the verb be. Looking at the next example we have here, it says, he have waving at you. Wrong. Why is it wrong? We have, if you look at this statement here, we have no being or being in the statement. Yes, we are banking on this verb ending in ing to tell us what we are going to use as the auxiliary verb, to tell us what is going to stand as the auxiliary verb. Peradventure, we have a blank space here that we are having this have here. If there were to be a blank space here, what are we supposed to put there? Have is wrong. Why? Because this is the ing form. It's supposed to go with the verb be and its other family members. So making this wrong. The next example we have here is Shioma and Godwin had making the bed. Wrong. Why is it wrong? When you look at the statement, it has no being. E-E-E-N, B-E-E-N, or B-E-I-N-G. we are banking on this base verb making. And the auxiliary verb we have, what auxiliary verb are we supposed to use when it ends in ing instead of en? We are supposed to use what? We are supposed to use what form? We are supposed to use the form of verb be and its family members, of which had is not part of it, making the sentence wrong. So let's look at the en forms. Wrong en forms. Let's look at the right one before we look at the wrong ones first. The first example we have here is the girls have woven the hair. Correct. Why is it correct? When you look at this sentence or the statement has no being or being. And the base verb we have here is woven, ending in en, the en form. Remember, the en form goes with have and its other families, which is had and what has, and of which we have here, making it correct. Remember, and it is obeying the law of grammatical concord. That's how you are going to choose between have, has, or had. The law of grammatical concord, or the law of notional concord, or the law of proximity concord. That's how you are going to choose, especially the law of grammatical concord. If you have not taken my lecture on grammatical concord, do that right away by tapping on the link in the description. Okay? So, how are you going to know the right choice to pick from the auxiliary verb and its family? Just like the verb be and the other family, you have many of them. How are you going to know the right one to pick? Or the verb have and its other family members, how are you going to know the right one to pick? Obeying the law of grammatical concord. You pick the one that obeys the law of grammatical concord when integrated to the sentence. Obeying the law of grammatical concord. All right, the next example we have here is Shioma has chosen a dress. Correct. Why is it correct? Because when you look at this statement here, it has no being, neither does it have being in it. So we are banking on this base verb choosing. And what is the auxiliary verb that we are going to use to help it? We are going to use, since it ends in en, it's the en form, we are going to use the verb have and its family. How are you going to know the one to choose? Obeying the law of grammatical concord, of which this sentence obeys the law of grammatical concord. This is a singular verb, and Shioma here is a singular subject. The next example we have here is, the girl are woven the hair. Wrong. Why is it wrong? Looking at the sentence, it has no verb being or being. So we are banking on this. This woven, this base verb woven, is the en form, and it's supposed to use the have. It's supposed to go with the have and its other components, or the other member of the have family, of which are is not part of it, making this wrong. The next example we have here is Shioma, we are choosing a dress, making this wrong. The en form. We have no being or being, so we can bank on this en form to figure out the auxiliary verb that we are going to use. So here, the auxiliary verb that we are going to use is supposed to be from, since we have en here, we have en form base verb here. It's supposed to be from the have and its family, and not from the verb be and its family. With this, we have come to the end of the verb being and being. Let's take some exercises to test the knowledge that we've acquired so far. Exercises. These questions was brought from JAMB UTME 2001/2008. The instruction says, pick the most appropriate options to fill the gaps. Number 1, the chairman has dashed a stand. The chairman has dashed a stand. A, taken. B, taken. C, took. D, take. What's your answer? The chairman has dashed a stand. You answered correctly. The correct option is B, taken. The chairman has taken a stand. Number 2, this is the man he has been dashed about. This is the man he has been dashed about. A, writing. B, written. C, wrote. D, write. What's your answer? This is the man he has been dashed about. You answered correctly. The correct option is A, writing. This is the man he has been writing about. These are the answers. What did you score? Let's quickly look at the recap of this lecture. A quick recap of the lecture says, the 2 rules below guide the use of being and being in a sentence. The ing form goes with the auxiliary verb be, is, are, am, was, were, and so on. These are the most common, so get familiar with the most common. Then for the second rule, the en form, that's the form that ends in en, goes with the auxiliary verb have, has, and had, and so on and so forth. These 3 are the most common and the most commonly set in JAMB UTME and WAEC exams. Thank you so much for taking this lecture. Hope you learned 1 or 2 things that is going to be beneficial to you in your JAMB UTME 2026. Hope you also made notes, because you are going to use that note for your subsequent revision. Do not forget to subscribe, follow for more at Nkwado Augustine across all social media platforms. I know you enjoyed this lecture. Do well to drop your questions and knowledge gap in the comment section, and I will do justice to your questions and knowledge gap as soon as I come across them. If you have none, please drop a like on this video to promote this video. At this point, I'm out.